Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening, wherever it is you're joining us from. We're so happy to have you here. I hope everybody can hear me. My name is Morola Ke Ojola, and I'm so privileged. I'm so honored to be able to facilitate this, just this whole community and just bring everybody together. My job is primarily to bring everybody together for us to connect and build relationships and see where it takes us. I'll just do a quick introduction about Rooted and Planted. I'll read the bio of our speaker and we'll just get right into it. So along with some other amazing women, Rooted and Planted is basically a community that helps us, raise rooted kids here in Germany. And you cannot talk about raising kids without us talking about us, the core, the lead people, who facilitate that process, who are the frontliners raising these kids, and that's us moms, and of course our dads as well. So we have hangouts, we have community hangouts where our kids get the opportunity to interact, to play, and just be themselves without any discrimination, without anybody, looking down on them, just being themselves. And then we have this moms hangout as well, where we just get to connect as moms. Already, a lot of people are building a lot of relationships, friendships, connecting, business relationships, and we're just really happy to see it happen. Um, it's International Women's Day this weekend, and we thought, how can we make sure that we support our moms? A financially empowered woman, a woman who has information about money, about how it works, about her career, is a woman that can contribute meaningfully to her home, make better decisions, and not just even in her home, in her community, right? Your voice is heard. You're able to just do things by yourself and create a better living environment for your family. And so that's why we're doing this today. We're going to have another hangout where we just physically meet each other next week. Look out for details for that. So today I have the privilege of having somebody that has really, I've followed her on Instagram, and I'm just like, wow, she's just dishing out the information about her career journey, about her journey financially, about being a mom. And I think for me, the unique thing about her and why I was like, we have to bring her, is the fact that she is a mom. Let me tell you guys, I don't know about you, but every time women come together, information, we just have a way of dropping those gems, dropping those information that you'll be like, a man will probably not give you this information like this. The way we break it down, if you follow her on social media, the way she breaks down the information, so relatable. And sometimes she's doing it with her child. Sometimes she will put on her stories and she will say, oh, right now my baby is, I'm breastfeeding my baby. I mean, we're just so powerful. We're just so, multi-gifted, multi-talented, powerful human beings. So if you've ever thought maybe you had a rough week, maybe you're just, like Germany has just been somehow for you, I just want to remind you, let this be your reminder that you're doing so well, way more than you're even acknowledging and admitting and giving to yourself. So today, please, it doesn't matter what you're doing, just pay attention, take whatever it is that is helpful to you. She's a mom herself, so there's no pressure. We're learning together. She has two kids. Don't be deceived by don't be deceived by her face. She has two kids. That one is breastfeeding. She's working. She's so she's very hands-on, so she can understand. So if you have questions that maybe you don't want to ask on the platform, you can just send them directly to me. We're also going to be asking some questions that we already have. Feel free and let's just interact. So before we hand over to her, I'll read her profile now. Please, let's quickly interact. Where are you joining us from? Tell us, where are you joining us from? Which part of Germany? Which part of Frankfurt are you joining us from? Let's let's just quickly drop that. And what do you hope to learn from this session? Quick. Let's don't be shy. Don't be shy. Just say something. Just say, drop it quickly. Let's interact. Frankfurt and Maine. Thank you so much, Abosede. Münster. Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. Who else? Who else wants to share? Okay. Tochi, I can see you. Tell us where you're. I'll call names. Aisha too. It's nice to meet you. Where are you joining us from? I'm joining from Buckingham, Frankfurt am in. Beautiful. Nice to meet you again. Frankfurt. Everybody's in Frankfurt. That's beautiful. Okay. Who else? Who else? Damilola, where are you joining us from? Dayo, Hope, Oluchi from Berlin. Hi, Oluchi. Nice to meet you. Frankfurt. Everybody's from Frankfurt. Nice, nice, nice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Oberuzov. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay. Let's just get right into it. I'm going to read our speaker's profile quickly, and that will be all. And we just get right into it. Looking to learn strong source of correct income. Beautiful. I love it. Yeah, so someone is paying her nanny 6,500,000 euros. I want to know their way. Exactly, my sister. You see all those Dubai people, they'll say when they're waking up, there are three people on the side. One is carrying the baby, the other one is doing the nails. We need to hack this thing. We need to hack it. Beautiful, beautiful. Particularly here in Germany. So many laws, so many tricky things. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Dikachi is a PR and content manager, mother, and finance and career educator. Drawing from a corporate communications background and personal experience navigating life and work in Germany, she shares practical strategies on career growth and long-term wealth building for international professionals. Her mission is to make complex systems understandable and opportunities accessible. Please join me in welcoming our dearest speaker, Dikachi Chizim. Yay!
Thank you so much, Morilake. I've been struggling with like your name because in my head I had Morenike.
Mo
So
is fine. Mo is fine. Everybody
Morilake,
calls
okay.
him Mo. It's
Mo,
fine.
okay, then I will stick to that. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. I was like, oh, is that me? Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to spend my Friday evening with every one of you today. Like she said, I will be talking about finance and career in Germany, and I will do my best to break it down to like the nitty-gritty details. And I mean, I've been told I talk too fast, so please, if you think I'm rapping, just tell me, put it in the comments, and then draw my attention to it. I'll try to slow down. I'm just looking at the time, and we have like 30 minutes for this, and so I will hop right into it. I'll share my screen now. If you have any questions, like Mo said, you can either drop it in the chat and we'll answer it towards the end, or we can. I would prefer we answer it towards the end because if you ask in between, maybe the next slide already has the answer, and then we keep going back and forth. So it'll be nicer if it's towards the end. So now I have a small issue because I
I've made you
haven't shared.
co-host. I've made you
Okay,
co-host.
no, I can do that. It's just
Okay.
I have to do a setting in on my computer
Okay.
to share this. So give me 1 second. I will have to go and do that setting.
Okay, while she's doing that, you can feel free to still share what you want to learn, what you hope to get from this session. Tell somebody, share across your profile. Tell somebody to tell somebody, put it on your status. Let's get more moms into the live session today. We have let me we have if you are not a member of the community, there's a link you can use to join the community as well. We're going to put that on later. So feel free. Our hangout on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Sorry to interrupt you. I have to restart Chrome because normally I can share my screen, but because this is being recorded, I have to restart for the setting to apply. So I will hop back in like 30 seconds. Hopefully
Okay,
that
no
goes well.
problem. No problem. While we're still working on that, our mamas, next week Saturday, we have a place already that we hope to use for our hangouts. I know it's Mother's Day next week Saturday. This Saturday is also International Women's Day. So, or Sunday is International Women's Day. Next Sunday is Mother's Day. At least the version of I think the UK version of Mother's Day. We know we celebrate everything. We celebrate them all, right? So because we deserve it. I know some of us have not even thought about what we're going to do, how we're going to take care of ourselves, how we're going to, celebrate ourselves. So we thought of something for us. It's going to be a paint and sip. Okay. where we're hoping that it will be without kids. But of course, if you're a mom of a baby, you can't drop off your baby. That's fine. You can bring your baby. There's a token fee, of course. But let me assure you, it's basically to just cover basic costs, the painting materials. We don't want you to cook. We don't want you to stress yourself. Just come and connect. The answer to that problem, that question you have, might just be in the hands of another mom. Another mom. Even at our last meeting, somebody was saying that, something about her child that she was working on, that she was thinking about. Another mom there just shared. I mean, just in the process of discussing, the information just came out, right? So please, once we are going to start sending out the links tomorrow, please, you know, I know they say, when women, the drama, it depends on, your perspective, your lens. For me, every time I come together with all these amazing women, magic, information, access, opportunities, it just opens up. So please, let's be a part of it. If you want to invite somebody, the link will be there for you to invite, and just be a part of the whole process. Another thing that I would like to share: have you tried to start a business in Germany? If you have, please let us know. How is it going? Have you tried to register your business in Germany? Has anybody tried? Did what's it called? These guys, the tax people, did they come after you? We hear all sorts of stories about how, you know, somebody tries to start a business and then one thing. Okay, she's back.
Sorry that took longer than expected because all my tabs just shut down and I had the slides, I had Mentimeter and everything just shut down. So I had to start logging in again. But
It
now
happens all the time. It's okay.
think it's all fine. I will share my screen and hopefully that works now. The host disabled screen
Okay,
sharing.
let me
So,
let me make co-host. Mm-hmm.
okay, try that again. Okay, that looks like it's working. If you see yourself, then it's working.
Yes, I can see myself.
Okay, okay. Then now I have to find the slides in my Canva. Just hide this one. Oh no, I think I opened a different Canva. No, it's the correct one. Okay. Praise the Lord. So yeah, welcome again to this session on earning, investing, and flourishing financially as a mom in Germany. Mo already did the full introduction, so I wouldn't spend too much time talking about myself, but I would just say a thing or two as to why I am very passionate about financial literacy, and especially for moms and women like me. So I don't know how many of you, maybe you can do show of hands. I do not see the Zoom, by the way, so I don't see if you drop something in the comments or if you do an emoji. So if there's anything I need to put my attention to more, just let me know and I will just break and check it out. So when you became a mom, how many of you after you became a mom realized that something shifted in how you see yourself, like your perception of yourself? So like before you became a mom, maybe you had a career, maybe you did not, maybe you had a passion, maybe you had priorities that were totally outside of motherhood. And then after you became a mom, your whole identity just shifted. And then that was just your full identity, like becoming a mom. I don't know about you, but that happened to me. So like before I became a mom, I was like this heavily career oriented person. I was like academically sound, everything was fine, perfect. And then I became a mom. I always wanted to be a mom, by the way. So it's something that it was not about if I wanted to be a mom, it was about when I wanted to be a mom. So I was just counting down to becoming a mom. For me, it's the biggest achievement. It still is. But then I noticed that, especially after having my most recent baby, or even before, I noticed that my whole identity was shifting. And then I didn't really care much about like things that I used to care about before, like finances, like career, like other things outside of motherhood. To the extent that when I wanted to start creating content, I asked someone else, like, okay, I want to create content. What kind of content? When you see me, what comes to mind? And I asked my family members and my friends, and they were all like, being a mom. And I'm like, okay, I know. But then old me, like real me, has more. There are more, would I say, facets to my life. There are more passions I have. There are more things that I stand for. There are more things I'm good at than being a mom. And then I was like, okay, I had to dig deep and, bring back that self, that the pieces that made me, that made Dikachi Dikachi even before motherhood. And so I realized that even now, like now that's all that, now I'm not, back in that zone anymore. But I realized that most moms, they are still there. And it's not like it's a bad thing. Being a mom, I said, is the most beautiful thing ever. For me, if you ask me what I am, I'll put motherhood first. The only reason why wife is first here, because like in the Bible, you're first a wife before you're a mom. But to be honest, like the most important aspect of my life is motherhood. But that doesn't mean that these other things don't matter. Being a career oriented person, being financially literate, these things are things that not only matter to the whole scheme of things in the world we have today, but they matter to our children too. Because if you have a son, if you have a daughter, they are looking at you, they are watching you, they are learning from you, whether you teach them directly or not, whether you say do this or don't do this. They're looking at the steps you are taking, they're looking at how your career is moving, they're looking at how you handle money, and then they are learning and they are growing. And so your child is like a reflection of you. And if you decide that, okay, all you want, I'm not saying being a stay-at-home mom is a bad thing. It's absolutely, in fact, I think that anybody who has, I've been during my maternity leave, I've been full-time, like staying at home. And to me, that's like bigger, harder work, to be honest, than like my office job. That's the hardest work I've ever done. So it's a good work. It's, how do I put it? Like it's the most important aspect, yeah. But still, there are certain things that we need to do, especially in terms of finances. Career is one, but finances especially, that if you, I don't know if we're all Christians here, but from my background, if you read Proverbs 31 woman, the Proverbs 31 woman, she's not just the homemaker, she's still financially literate. She still sees a field that has potential and she buys it. She still puts all these things together. And those are the things that make her whole. And so it's from this passion that I started my social media channel and decided, you know what, I'm not just going to come here and just show, okay, my kids and, motherhood, which, as I said, is beautiful. But there are other things that I feel like we can bring out from the women in us. Like we can show that we are beyond just having kids. It's not just, I keep saying it's not just, we are beyond having kids, which is a miracle in itself. But there are so many other aspects of us that we can bring out, that we can show, and that will also be beneficial both to our family, to our community, and also to the world that we are in now. So that's my why. That's why I do this. Okay, so I'll not go through the other things. I came to Germany in 2019, had an MBA, and now I work, as Muru said, as a PR and content manager. So this is the agenda that we have today. As I said before, if I'm rapping, please let me pause, because even my husband says I rap. So I won't be surprised. Somebody says you're talking too fast. So just let me know. And I don't see the Zoom, so please just unmute or just say something, then I would slow down. So today we are going to talk about two dimensions. I broke down into earning and investing, and I'll try as much as possible to spend equal time on both aspects. On earning, I'm going to focus more on the career part. I know someone wrote something about side hustles, but if you have specific questions, maybe we can talk about that afterwards. I'm focusing on career because depending on your visa, even regardless of your visa in Germany, starting a side hustle is not for the faint-hearted. Like, it's not for the faint-hearted, but the career is something that I believe that is very accessible to everyone. And careers don't have to be like full-blown, like banking job or something technical. It can draw from your already existing passion. It can be part-time, it can be anything. So I just feel like this is a more accessible thing. Having a career is a more accessible thing than starting a side hustle. I'm pro side hustles. I've just registered one, so I'm pro side hustles. We can talk about that. But for this presentation, I just focused on career. So we'll talk about how to upskill on a tight budget, things you do's and don'ts. CV do's and don'ts. I hate that I don't see the Zoom, because now I don't even know if people are sleeping. I don't, I don't know if people are still listening to me.
We are with you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good. CV do's and don'ts. We'll talk about how to ace the interview process, talk about how to negotiate your salary, and then I'll round up in some key takeaways. Then we'll shift to investing. We'll talk about some myths that really hold people back from investing, especially women. We'll talk about the power of compounding, brokers, and ETFs. In fact, by the end of this, I expect that you will have like all the basic knowledge you need to just make that first investment, because investing is more of a habit and a mindset than really the financial aspect of it. So it's more, I want to build that mindset that I can invest, and this is how to invest. I also have an investment guide, which I think Mo can share with you after this, but from today you already get all the basics that you need, hopefully. So before we go into the agenda, I would like you to bring out your phone and scan this QR code. Just, if you can't scan the QR code, you can just go to menti.com, as you can see on the slide, and enter this code. Now, I would give it like maybe 30 seconds, and I'll swipe to the Mentimeter chat so that you can see the actual question. Because if I swipe, this QR code goes away. So maybe if you give a thumbs up if you've swiped, if you've scanned it, or maybe I would, you know what, I would just copy this and put it in chat. I think that'll be easier. So you can always just go, you can just click this link. Is that okay? Yeah. So now where is Zoom? I think Zoom is here. Yeah. So I'll just put this in the chat. So I'll just leave, you can click the link via the chat. Then I will just, am I still sharing my screen?
Sorry, what's the code again? Sorry.
Am I still sharing my screen though? Yeah, I am.
We can't see the screen anymore.
You can't see the screen
It's
anymore,
better. It's
right?
now. It's
Okay.
there. It's there. Oh,
Now
oh,
you can
it's
see it.
gone. It's
Okay.
gone. It's
It's
back
gone.
again. It's back
It's
again.
back
It's
again.
back.
Okay. Okay. So you enter this code, or you can just go to the chat now and click copy and paste the link I put in the chat. It will just take you directly to where you should go. Okay. Everybody happy? I would go to Mentimeter now so you can see the question. Come on, guys. I already did all this now because I restarted my computer. No, this is not my last section. I do want to see the insights. Okay, I think this should work. Do you see the first question? Do you see in one word, how do you feel about the current state of your career? Do you see this when you go to the code?
Yes, yes. I can see it. I
Okay.
can see it.
Okay. I can see that 13 people are already in here. So I think probably everyone is here. So if you can see the question, just tell me when you think about how your career is, because I use the word career, but maybe, yeah, career is the whole thing. Career doesn't just have to do with your corporate job. So when you think about the current state of your professional life, yeah, it could be better. Okay. So are you overwhelmed? Do you have maybe if you have a manager that is stressing you out, are you stressed? Are you excited to go to work on Monday? Double-minded, okay, so here and there. Are you fulfilled? What other words can we think of? Are you relaxed? Are you optimistic? Are you tired? Not there yet, okay. Feels good but want more. Exactly. I think there's always this stagnant, okay. Anyone else? I'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes so as many people as possible can answer. Anybody else? Anybody else wants to put something? This is anonymous, so we don't know. I'm not going to tell your manager that you said I said you are going to quit this one day, so don't worry about that satisfaction. Okay, that's good. That's good. I think Germany, I think everyone here is in Germany. Germany is like, in my opinion, what I say, the career haven. So I feel like, I know, yes, it could be way better. It could be definitely better. But compared to, I'm on LinkedIn a lot, and compared to what I hear from people in the US, I feel like Germany has a bit of work-life balance. As long as the manager is also German, because I've worked with an American manager, and trust me, they brought the American culture to Germany. So yeah, I feel like Germany still tries, and I think the German setup is one that wants you to just be in the job, on the job, like just grow your coffee, which is not bad. But I think as moms, sometimes we want more. So yeah. So okay, I would keep this as it is and just go to the next slide. If I go to the next, I don't know if you guys see the next question. I hope that's how it works. Okay. Oh, okay. So you already answered this too. How you feel about your finances
God, I
currently,
beg.
right? That's a very nice one. Worrisome. Enjoy work, but need more satisfactory. Good. I like that there are many people who said good. So good is always nice, but it could always be better. So we're going to talk about these two things. And my hope is that by the end of this session, not necessarily that there's no way that you would have become rich by the end of this section, but you will have a rich mindset. You have a mindset that you can do this, and then you will know where to start. So that's my goal for this session. And I'm hoping that by the end, if you pay attention, by the end of the section, the things you collect, like the information you collect here, would help you to take the next step, both in your career and in your finances. Okay, so we'll go back to the slide now. Hopefully, I can find it. I have too many tabs. Yes, okay. Now I think I see more now, so that's good. At least I can see somebody. Okay, but now it's too big. It's covering the slide. Can you see yourself more?
I can see myself. Oh, if you want to
Okay, then I have
take
to.
me out.
Yeah, I have to remove it because now it's even covering the slide. Uh, I'm too. Okay, yes. So now that's fine. Okay. So as I said, oh my God, it's already almost 6:30. Don't worry, I'll try to do this
It's okay.
program. Will start from the mind. Okay. So that's why I asked this question on Mentimeter, like, how are you feeling when you think about these things? Because everything that we do physically, everything we say, it starts from what we've already thought in the mind. And whether we like it or not, our mind is programmed by what we feed it, what we think, what we assume. So when we have the wrong mindset, when everything is programmed the wrong way, it reflects in everything we do. It reflects in the choices we make. It reflects in our confidence. So even if you don't get anything else, you don't need to take screenshots or take notes. I will share the whole slide with Mo so she can share it with you. So even if you, what was I saying? Yeah, when you think about your mind and the kind of thoughts you feel it with, it determines your entire life, to be honest. So even if you don't get anything from this whole 30-45 minutes today, everything on this slide, if you just get everything on this slide, that's okay for me, because that's the number one. Like, without getting the things on this slide, then there's no, like, you're probably not going to take the next step. Okay. And the first thing I wrote down here is, if only one person is going to be successful this year, that person is going to be me. This is, for me, the most important point, because if you think about the current state of the whole economy, there is war going on. It's probably going to affect the inflation. It's probably going to make things inflated. It's probably going to affect, people's vacations, people's jobs. It's going to affect a lot of things. But at the end of 2026, whether we like it or not, war or no war, there will still be successful people in Germany. There will still be somebody that started the year somewhere and ended the year better than they started. And so the idea is that if there's going to be one person that does that this year, we know that there are going to be hundreds or thousands of people. But even if it's only one person, I want you to tell yourself that that person is going to be me. So no matter what, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, the economy is really bad. It's just the job market is bad. It cannot happen for me. No, I'm going to that. Even if it's only one person that'll get a job this year, that person is going to be me. Okay, number one. Number two, if you are serious about something, I'll use myself now. If I'm serious about something, I'm going to always find a way. But if I'm not serious about it, I always find an excuse. When I first heard this statement, I was like, I think I'm very serious. It's just that I don't have time. I'm a mom, I'm this and that. But then again, we're all moms, yeah, and we've all had I don't know how, maybe you have big kids, maybe you have smaller kids, but your child was once very small. And when your child is small and they are sick, sometimes the sickness goes to you too. Like, both of you are sick at the same time. Maybe even your husband is sick. Maybe everybody in the house is sick, or maybe it's just you and the child, but you're alone with the child, yeah? And the child needs to eat. He or she needs to bath, needs to sleep, needs to still play, needs to dress up. Do you avoid doing these things for your child because you are sick too? I assume not. At least I don't. So no matter how sick I am, I'll still get up. Even if I can't eat, I'll still get up and go and prepare something to give my child to eat. Even if I don't have strength to go to my own doctor, I'll still take my child to the pediatrician. Why? Because I'm very passionate about my child's health. I know that I want him or her to be healthy. I want him to be well fed. Because I'm serious about it, I'm very passionate. I don't have any excuse. I cannot say because I'm sick, I'm not going to do it. There's no excuse. And sickness is even a very valid excuse. But even at that, we as mom, we still get up, we still take care of our kids. Yeah. And I know that, yeah, as I said, motherhood is the ultimate thing. But still, if we carry this mindset into other things we do, we cannot say, I'm stressed, I'm tired, so I don't want to go for my goal. At the end of the day, it's still an excuse. So no matter what, it's still an excuse. So if you're serious about something, you will always find a way. But if you're not that serious, if it's not that important to you, you always find an excuse. And then number three, I'm a religious person. So this is something I do, I hold near and dear to my heart. I will pray as if I don't know how to prepare. If I have an interview, if I have an exam, if I have something, I will pray as if it's only prayer that, like, I don't know how to talk, I don't know how to write, I don't know how to read, it's only prayer that matters. Then I will prepare for that interview, for that exam, as if I don't know how to pray, as if there's no God, like, it's just my preparation that matters. And when you combine these two things together, you'll be as prepared as you should be, and you'll also be as faithfully filled as you should be, if that's a word that exists. But yeah, you get the point. So yeah, so it all starts from the mind, and I want us to take these things to heart and program our mind that this is what's going to happen for me. I'm going to succeed, and the way I'm going to succeed is that I'm going to always find a way rather than finding an excuse. And then I'll pray as if I can't prepare, and then I'll prepare as if I can't pray. Okay. Then now we go into the career part. So I'm going to say I have this cheesy title, from tired to hired. So I don't know how many of us are maybe looking for a new role, or looking to change from one department to another, from one career path to another. So I just put this together because I feel like no matter where you are in your career journey, this is something that could help you. So before the era of AI, most times, like me, when I went into content marketing, started from a passion. Actually, I liked writing. This chair is making noise. I liked writing, and then I realized that okay, back then I didn't even know there was a job like content marketing. I just liked writing. So me and one of my friends, he was a tech guy, we sat together and we're like, okay, what can we call this your passion like this? We now named it content. Then I searched online and saw that there were actually jobs called content marketing, and there were actually courses that fit this job, and there were courses I could take. And back then I wasted a lot of time taking some courses that did not make sense. Like they did not really match what I wanted to learn. But today, with the era of AI, you can actually tell AI to build you a course structure, a full everything, agenda, everything based on your budget, based on your time frame, and then you will not waste your time, auditing courses or auditing hours of YouTube videos that don't really match what you want to learn. So I put this prompt together. I can just read through it real quick. I said, I'm looking to transition into this role. So let's say you are in marketing and you want to transition into product management. So you want to transition into this role. That's where you put in target role. I will send you the slide and you can just copy and paste this into your AI. I like Gemini because Gemini is good for research. So I recommend Gemini. So I'm looking to transition into this role. I have this timeline. Let's say you have 6 months, you have 3 months, depending on the amount of time you have to reach a professional level. Currently, I can dedicate maybe 1 hour a day because I have plenty of children, or maybe 2 hours a day because, my kids are bigger, maybe 5 hours a day. It depends. Sorry, a week. So put how much time you can dedicate. And then this is the amount of money I want to spend. Of course, you can say you have €0. But if you have €0, you must be willing to dedicate maybe a longer period because you might have to go through the basic courses, or you might have to go through only YouTube videos, something like that. So if you have a budget with €100 you can put that there, and then tell the AI to design a comprehensive month-by-month learning plan to take you through all the steps and present it in a table format. I won't read the whole thing in detail. You can copy it and paste it. Once you copy and paste this, I recommend Gemini. Once you copy and paste this into Gemini, and to bring out, you'll be surprised. When I tried it, I was like, wow. You'll be surprised what it would do for you. Like, it will bring out the perfect structure, to show you the links, show you the prices, show you you can even go one step further and say, okay, tell me, I think that's the last line, tell me what I need to do, which one I should start with to organize everything for you. And so you don't have to start guessing where to start, where to end. So I believe if you paste this into Gemini, you have already your guide to upskilling on a budget, on a tight budget. So you just try this out if you want to upskill, that is. And then I recommend going to adplist.org. So adplist.org is this, it's an organization that they have paid mentors, but they also have free mentors. And you can search for a mentor in that particular field. And then maybe once a month or so, you can meet with the person and see, because it always helps to, of course, AI is nice, but it always helps to speak to somebody that is in that particular field to learn how it really works and a few more things. Okay. So that's for upskilling, if that's something you want to do. Now we go to CV do's and don'ts. Let's say you already have the skills you need, right? How many? Okay, I can't ask questions because that means I will have to go to Zoom. So I'll just keep that. There are several phases where, for you to get a job, you need to submit your CV, yeah? Then you get this first interview, second interview, maybe the third interview, then you get the job. Now, however, there are some people that you have the skill, you have your CV, you submit your CV like to hundreds of jobs, and then the turnover, so the amount of interviews you get per the amount of applications you've submitted, the math is not really matching. That's one. So from there, you already know that the problem is probably with the CV, because you have the skills, you have the experience, but the math is not it's not converting. Then there are some that you've already submitted the CV, people call you back, then you have the first interview or the second interview, and they're like, mostly the first interview actually, and then you just don't get calls back after the first interview. Then you know that, okay, your CV is great, but your interview skills need to be worked on. Okay, so those are the things we'll still work on today. I'll start with the CV. Now, in Germany, people always say, I've heard people say, okay, there's this German style CV, blah, blah, blah. I've never used the German style CV. I don't think my husband has used the German style CV. I actually don't know anybody that has used the German style CV. So maybe, and I have personally been applying mostly, I usually apply mostly to startups and scale-ups. My husband does mostly multinationals, because that's the experience he has. And both versions, so both startups and multinationals, they still accept regular CVs. So I don't think you should. Anyway, I will go through do and don't. So when it comes to CVs, the most important things are these things on the do. show, when you're describing your experience, you show the outcome, not the effort. For example, let's say I'm a salesperson, I work in sales. An effort would be I held a sales training. Okay, full stop. Everybody can hold a sales training. But if I want to show the outcome on my CV, I'll say I held a sales training that helped the sales team, or that helped maybe you held it for marketing, that helped the marketing team increase MQL. MQL is something we have in marketing, so you don't have to learn that. It's just a technical term. Increase MQL from, would I say, I don't know, 50% in Q1 to 70% in Q2. Or to, those specific numbers show that, okay, the purpose of this sales training, this is the result, this is what happened afterwards. So you can tie it to any field you're in. So instead of just saying, I did this, you should say, this is what happened, this is the result of what I did. Because your employer, your hiring manager, they want to show that you don't want to know that you can bring results, not that you can do the thing, you can do actions. Anybody can do actions, okay? Also, highlights core skills and tools. I always see some CVs where you have I don't know, everything you can think of, you write everything there. I don't know, from your primary school to your university, you just put everything there. But for each role, there are particular skills and tools that are needed. And that's what you should focus on. That's what you should highlight. Even if it's just 5 you have, that's fine. You don't have to have 100, but just highlight the core ones. Then also tailor each CV to each role. Of course, we are multifaceted people. We've had many experiences. We've had, especially the older you get, the more experiences you've had. However, each role most roles are unique. They're generalist roles. If you're applying for even generalist roles, is marketing generalist. You cannot just have generalist. So there's always something unique about each role. So no matter how much experience you have, if you cannot tailor that experience to that particular role, it's not relevant. If you cannot show the relevance of each experience to the role you're applying for, then you don't have to put it in the CV. It's not relevant for that particular application, okay? Then you can also adjust job titles. For instance, if you were an operations manager, I think I need to close this window. It's getting cold. If you're an operations manager and then you're applying for, would I say what can be related to operations? Maybe even a marketing role. Yeah. And you know that while you're the operations manager, you help the marketing team to do XYZ. You're going to change the title of the job to marketing operation manager because you did something with the marketing team. And then when you are describing that role, you describe what you did with the marketing team. Make sure it matches what you've named the role. I'm not saying you should lie. You shouldn't lie on your CV. If you have 0 experience in something, don't go and say you have 10 years of experience in that thing. But if you know you've done something similar, you are allowed to adjust the titles because the HR people, they are not going to say, okay, I can guess that this person that did operations might be able to fit marketing. It's your job to show them that you can do marketing. Okay, so you're allowed to adjust title as long as you know that the experience matches. Then for don'ts, of course, you shouldn't include anything unrelated without context. Like I said, you can't put experiences that don't match the role. It's just a waste of space. Don't write lengthy sentences that can't be skimmed. HR people, they have 10 seconds per CV. So if they can't skim through, then they're not going to read everything. Then don't use too many fonts and colors that are difficult to read. It's not really, even if you're going for a design role, they're not going to you're not trying to, you want your CV to be clear. So always make sure it's clear. Then don't include typos. That's clear. Then things that are egal, I don't know if you know the German word egal, they don't matter. I've seen a lot of arguments on LinkedIn or Twitter that's picture and CV, no picture and CV. To be honest, it doesn't matter. I personally don't put my picture in my CV because I just prefer not to put my picture on my CV. However, I've heard stories, even my husband, he had in one of his roles that he was applying for, the manager literally told him, I decided to, you have the skills, yeah, but I picked you because I like the picture on your CV. So it doesn't, it's egal. For me, I've always had a job and I never had my picture on my CV. There are people that have pictures have done them favor. So actually it's just up to you. Then short summary at the top, that's also egal. Some people said it helps. So if you can put 2 lines of who you are, what you do at the top, you can do that, but I've never done that, and so I can't say that's everybody has to do that. Then like I said, German versus English, perfect German style, perfect English style. I've never done perfect German style, so that's also egal. I think that's a preference thing. Then listing your hobbies, it's egal, but up to the extent that it matters for the role. So like I said before, I'm passionate about writing. I started writing before I became a content marketing manager. So if I want to write, I do not write my hobbies, but if I want to write my hobbies, I'm going to write writing because it really matches the role. So yeah, these are the things that you should keep in mind. There are many other things that you can consider, especially depending on your role. But I would say if you have all these things in place, then you are way to go. Like your CV is better than most other CVs out there. Trust me, I've seen a lot of CVs. Then CV phase is over. Your CV is fine. You're submitting your CVs. Then you go for interviews and you're not getting callbacks. Now, the main thing I noticed now in the job market today is that I don't want to scare you, but it's oversaturated, especially when you're looking for an English role and you're in Germany. There are thousands of people looking for English roles. If you apply for a role, especially on LinkedIn, you can see some roles. You will see 100 plus applicants. Some other job boards show like the amount of applicants that have applied. It's not to scare you. It's just to, would I say, use it to prepare you instead of scaring you. Because imagine 100 people are applying for the same role, and maybe 20 of them are interviewing. Why should the hiring manager remember me? Like, why should they pick me? Why should they, after this interview, why should they feel like, sorry, excuse me, why should they feel like I really want to work with this person? Why me? You know in your heart that you're special. Each and every one of us is special. God made us specially and beautifully made. But your manager, your hiring manager, or the HR person, they don't know that. So it's left to you to bring out that specialness. Okay. So I put a few points here. Tell your story, your why. I was talking to someone, was it 2 days ago? She's in I think semiconductor, she's an engineer. So I asked her why did she become an engineer? Is it because it's a high paying job? She was like, no, she likes to build things. When she was small, she would put out her toys or some things in the house, she will scatter it and build it back. Imagine if you're an interviewer and you're, describing why you decided to do this job. And other people are saying, well, I'm an engineer because I'm good. I'm very passionate about engineering. I believe engineering is the future. That's just, ChatGPT-ish, But somebody that told a background story and said, oh, when I was 5, I used to put my toys together. I used to put, my mother's, computer. I used to destroy it and put it back together. It's more memorable than when you just give like a templated answer. Okay, so tell your story, tell your why. Then research interviewers. I won't read through this screenshot that you write, but if you get this slide, try and read this because this is a hiring manager, and you can see the extent. If you read it, you see the extent to which people go during interviews to try to impress the interviewer. I'm not saying you should do this for every role, because if you're interviewing for like 20 roles and you're doing this for 20 roles, you'll be burnt out, and then if you don't hear back, you'll be more frustrated. But there are some times when you're job hunting, you see a particular role and you're like, I can really see myself in this place. Like, I can really do this job. I'm perfect for this role. For those kind of roles, I would suggest you really go the extra mile. Of course, I'm not saying it's guaranteed. Like, even she wrote there that I didn't screenshot up to that part. She wrote that not everybody got the job. But people that didn't get the job, sometimes they'll ask her for a referral, and because they were so memorable, because they did so well and they like went the extra mile, she'll recommend them to another role, or she'll put in a good word for them. Okay, so in a saturated job market, it's up to us. It's up to us to stand out, and these are the ways we can stand out. You can research the interviewers, find a genuine connection, see something that they like that you also like. I once had a manager that she's American, but she went to, I think, Rwanda, one African country, not Rwanda, I don't remember where. And then she volunteered to help pregnant women in, a poor area like that. And I was like, wow, this is wonderful. Then I was like, I didn't have kids, but I was like, I want to have kids. And I can imagine how people that don't have access to healthcare, I talked about it during the interview and we connected on that level, And then also, if you have a career break, this is a big thing for us moms, especially when we step out of the working world to take care of our kids. In Germany, yes, of course, people prefer that you have no career break. It goes without saying. But in Germany, my baby is crying. Sorry. In Germany, you still
can bring your baby. You can carry your baby.
No, it's fine. I'll be too distracted. My mom is there. My husband is there, so I think he'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Here was I saying. So in Germany, when you pause to care for kids, it's seen a lot more sacred than many other countries. So it's really seen as sacred. So if you pause your career and you are going for an interview and they ask you, why do you have a career break? Why is there a break in your CV? Of course, saying you supposed to take care of your kids, that's fine. It's a pleasant answer. It's the truth. But even within that career break, what did you do? There are some people that during the career break, maybe for me who was a writer, I didn't stop writing. I still had my blog. I was still writing. Maybe you saw a new course that you wanted to take. You took a new course. Maybe you upskill. Maybe you volunteer. Maybe you went for networking events. If you can put all these things together when you're explaining why with what happened during the break, then you are different from, you're one step ahead of the person that just said, well, I spent the last 5 years taking care of my kids, full stop. So there will be a preference towards the person who paused the career but did not pause the passion. If you say you're passionate about engineering, like that girl was passionate about engineering, of course, when she's on a break taking care of kids, she'll still find time to destroy something in the house and put it back because it's her passion. So of course, there are some jobs you are doing, you know that you're just doing that job because you know it's paid and it's not your passion. But you have to find that connection. If you can't find that connection, it's easier to tell. And in a saturated market, it's what really can set you apart. So if you're at a career break, always make sure that you're doing something. If you're still on your career break, try to find something you can do. Not necessarily something that takes up all your time, but something that would be easier to ease your entrance back into the career world and that you can talk about during your interviews. Then I said, go the extra mile and always follow up. I always follow up. If I don't follow up on an interview, it's because I really don't want the job. It has happened. Like if I don't, let's say I do an interview and then like everything is not working, I just don't follow up. But if I want the job, nothing will stop me from following up. You just have to follow up. Tell them you had a nice, you had enjoyed the conversation. You're looking forward to the next step. Simple. Always do that. And then final point in the career path is to negotiate your salary. This one is very tricky for women because even me, it's easy for me to write this. But even me, I hate negotiating my salary. I hate it. But but you have to do it because to be honest, I think the average woman is underpaid. And if you don't negotiate your salary, you probably most likely be underpaid. And it starts from when you are getting the job. When you get a new job, the chances that your salary will increase within the next 1 year are very slim. 1 to 2 years are very slim. So if you don't negotiate at that first time when you're accepting the job, you'll be stuck for like 1 or 2 years, and then it will even be harder for you to negotiate next time. Okay. So if possible, when you're during the interview process, when they're asking about numbers, if they don't state their own number, if they stated their own number, of course, that means you've seen the number, you know that it's fine for you, that's fine. But if they don't state their number and they ask you, and let's say they didn't ask when you were filling the form or when you were applying for the job, and they just ask you during the interview, one thing I always do is I ask them what their range is. It puts them on the spot. They have a range, whether they like it or not. They cannot say they don't have a range. They have a range, and then they state their range, and then I work with their range. Especially if their range is above what I want or is within what I want, I work with their range. But of course, if the range is below, then you know that it's below. And I know the job market is saturated, but it's unfair to accept a range that is below you because you can always get more. Like even from that particular employer, you can get more because when you finish through the interview, they like you, they like your CV, they see you working with them. That extra, I don't know, 5K, 3K you're asking for is not what will make them say, no, bye bye. It can happen, but it's usually not the case. Then, if you're giving them a range, the lowest figure should be the figure you are happy with. If you say you want to do 50 to 60K, just as an example, they're not going to give you 51K. If you say your salary range is 50 to 60K, the chances they'll give you 51K is very slim. They will give you 50K. They will not give you 51K because you said you're fine with 56K. So if you are giving a range, make sure that the lowest range is that range that, okay, if this range I get, I'm fine. In many cases, they even try to negotiate below. It always happens to me. They even try to go below the range I asked for. So most times, if you're giving 56K because you feel like you want 57K, just give your range as 57 to 65 because nobody's going to give you above they will, but it's very rare. Then also always ask for more than just your salary. Try to talk about, if they have a learning budget, PTO, pay time off. These are things that they are more flexible with than money, even though at the end of the day, there's financial benefits for each of these things. So try to also negotiate all these things. And when you get the job, or if you're already in the job, try to always go beyond expectation. I'm not saying we are moms. I'm not saying you should burn yourself out or you can miss your kids' school, your kids' life because you want to like always outperform. But do your best to make sure that every moment you spend at work is effective, is efficient, and you showcase your work. And then you put yourself in a good position to always ask for a raise because at the end of the day, we are trading our time for money. So we want to make sure that we trade our time for the maximum amount of money we can get for that particular time. Okay, so I think that's the last slide. That's the last slide for career. We still have finance and we are very, very, very beyond time. But we'll see. So yeah, the key takeaways is always be strategic and proactive when you're job searching. Own and confidently communicate your story. Find your story. Make sure you own it. Go the extra mile at every stage. Don't undersell yourself and always negotiate your salary. Okay, so if you have any questions, please make sure you put them in the chat, write them down. We'll answer. I'll try to make sure I know I've promised my daughter's nap time and bedtime, so I'll make sure I finish before then, but we'll try and answer as much as we can. Okay, so now we're going to talk about investing. Now, investing for women is very tricky. Remember the first time my father was a stockbroker. I don't know if you've watched any of my videos. I mentioned that in one of my videos. My father was a stockbroker, but still, unfortunately, he passed away when I was 15. And before then, I hadn't had like serious money conversations with him. But every time I think about my whole mindset around money, I think I inherited it from like how we grew up and how I saw him, like the kind of how he was with money because he was a stockbroker. But nevertheless, because he passed away when I was so young, when I say detached from that money world. And when you asked me when I was a child, when I was a teenager, when you asked me about money, I'm like, I think in my head, I think it's men that do that. Also because my dad did that. I think it's men that do that. Like it's too complicated. I mean, I need like just let's not do that. Let's just work, save money, and just live on that. But that's such a big myth because men and women are created equally, and like we have access to this information, we have access to our finances, we have the power to grow our money. It's not a man's thing, it's everybody's thing. Okay. And so one myth that we always have, most people have, is that you can only invest with plenty money. Back then it was the case. Back then when my father was a stockbroker, you needed a stockbroker often to invest. You can't just open an app and invest. But now it's not like that. Now you can open an app and invest. So €1 you can invest as little as €1 today. Investing is complicated. No, it's not. It's not complicated at all. I will show you that it's not complicated at all, and anybody can do it. And then investing will make you rich overnight. Please, if you think that investing will make you rich overnight, just close your laptop now and don't even just continue the next slide, because that is absolutely not the case. Like investing is not going to make you rich overnight. Investing is the alternative to, let's say, putting your money in the bank, especially safe investing. There are people that day trade, and then day trading is like gambling. Like if you day trade, it's just like betting on a match. You could be successful, but the chances that you are successful at day trading are very, 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 very slim. More people lose money. So I would advise against day trading or looking for get rich quick schemes. Investing is more like a gradual, long-term way of building wealth. Okay. So now that we've debunked all those myths and you know that everybody can do it, I'll just paint you a picture. This is, I wrote here, these numbers are for illustration only, please, because the stock market really fluctuates. You cannot guarantee, nobody can guarantee you any particular return. It can go up, it can go down. However, based on historical averages, there's an average, if you invest in an ETF, on average, on historical average, per year, you can get 9%. That doesn't mean that you get 9% this year and next year and every year. This year, you can even get minus 9% or minus 10%. The next year, you can get 15%. Next year, you get 17%. So it fluctuates. But on average, over the long period of time, you can get 9% every year. And that's why when you talk about the topic of investing, if you are not ready to commit for a long period of time, don't bother. Because if you are this kind of person that once the money drops more, you want to remove it, it's not going to work for you. So it's something that you do over an extended period of time. That's where you see the benefits. So for instance, if someone invests €100 per month for 10 years, after 10 years, you would have invested 12,000 euros. That's how much you've put in the portfolio. But after 10 years, it will be worth 20,000. It could be worth 20,000 based on the historical average. And that means you've gained 8,500. So you've put 12,000, but you've gained 8,500. However, if you started putting it, maybe if your parents started putting it for you when you were born, or if you started putting it when you were 10 or when you were 20, and now you are 60, and that means you've invested for 40 years. And after 40 years, you've invested 48,000 euros if you are investing 100 euros every month. Based on historical averages, we have 9% per year. And then you would have, by the end of 40 years, you have approximately 400,000 euros. But you invested only 48,000 euros. That means you gained 352,000 euros. That's almost 10 times what you invested. Why? Because of the power of time, because you started early. So it's not really, of course, if you put big money today, in the next 1 year, you can still have big money, but the amount you put in versus the amount that the money grew wouldn't be that much, compared to someone that put in small money but started like 20 years ago. Okay, so time is really your friend when it comes to investments. Before you start, these are things you need to keep in mind. You have to have the money that you spend because you need to eat, you need to live, you need to pay rent, put that in a separate account. Then you have to have emergency money. Emergency money is like money that that okay, because money in the stock market, like I said, is long term. If you just put it that you want to get it next month or next year, you'll probably not make a profit because the market fluctuates. So investing is long-term money. But emergency money is that if you maybe lose your job or you lose your source of income, you can still survive for a while before you get the next job or the next source of income. That one you put in the high-yield savings account. In Germany, unfortunately, we don't really have high-yield savings accounts, but we have target yields, and some banks offer at least 2%, which is less than inflation, but is still better than just putting the money in a regular bank account. And then, like I said before, you need to invest money that you don't need for several years, because if you're going to keep withdrawing it, then it wouldn't work. And then ask yourself, if the market drops by 20 to 30%, will you still be okay? Because if you're not okay with that, then it's tricky. Especially now that there's war, the war is going on. There was COVID the other time. Things happen and the market fluctuates, but all the time, historically, it always bounces back. as long as you're not doing like penny stocks and all these companies that can fold off. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, these are the things you need to know before you start. Then you need to choose the right broker. I have a post I made about 5 brokers. When you get the slide, you just need to click here and you read about that. But in Germany, if you're starting as a beginner, I recommend a German broker because German brokers, they can handle the taxes, so you don't need to stress about that. And when you set this Freistellungsauftrag, it's just in Germany you have when you make profits from your investments, you have to pay tax. But the first 1,000 euros in profit is tax free. So these German brokers, they have a setting where you can put it, and then that first 1,000 euros you don't pay tax, and then above that you have to pay tax, and the German broker will automatically take care of this for you. So that's why I always recommend that for beginners. If you're not a beginner, of course you can try other brokers. There's some benefits of other brokers. You read that if you check this post. Okay, then what to invest in? Now we know that there are stocks. Everybody knows Tesla stock, Apple stock. There are like thousands of stocks in the stock market. However, if you're a beginner, I wouldn't try out my luck with stocks because each individual company, the volatility of each individual company is very high compared to where you have a bundle of several companies where professionals have already put them together to minimize risk. So an ETF is called exchange traded fund. It's like a group of stocks put together in one. And these stocks are usually, so they are different for different industries. They can be stocks that focus on, the tech market. They can be stocks that focus on China. They can be stocks that focus on Germany, stocks that focus on the whole world. There are different buckets of different kinds of stocks, but they are usually professionally backed. Like a professional has put it together and made sure that the chances that it will still fluctuate, yeah, but the chances that it fluctuates way too much is really limited compared to if you buy an individual stock. So I recommend if you're a beginner, you focus on these ETFs. And I said here a broad ETF. A broad ETF is like an ETF that really packs everything together. So tech stocks, Coca-Cola, everything together, and then different markets. So Germany, US, China, everything together. That's so broad that it's literally practically just tracks the markets, tracks the entire stock market. So if the stock market is, if everything is going up, that's ETF is usually going up, is going down. So that one is less volatile. And of course, the returns are also less because the risk is also less. So if you would buy Tesla, for instance, maybe Elon Musk says, okay, he's bringing this new model. Tomorrow, the stock will go up. If he says, you know what, I want to close down Tesla office for 2 days, the stock will go down. So that's very volatile. But if you buy a broad ETF, it really follows the trend of the market, and the risk is much lower. I also personally like gold ETFs. Gold ETF is called ETC, exchange traded commodity, because everyone knows how gold is. Like gold is authentic, and people usually put this in their portfolio. I put this in my portfolio too because I feel like it balances against volatility because gold is not as volatile as the rest of the market. And then bond ETF. Bond ETF is way less. I think it's the least risky, but it's also the least returns. I made a video about it. I didn't link it here, but I made a video about it. But basically, everything I said here is what I said in the video. Like if you're a beginner, I would split my money maybe 80% into the broad ETF that mirrors the whole market, 10% into gold, 10% into bond, and then I just have a balanced portfolio. Nothing is without risk. I said here, all investments carry risk. This is not financial advice, absolutely not. But I feel like this is a safer way to start than to just pick stocks. Then you should choose accumulating ETF over distributing ETFs. Accumulating and distributing, all ETFs are either accumulating and distributing. Accumulating just means that if the ETF pays dividends, the dividends will be put automatically back into your money. So let's say they're paying €1 dividend every, quarter. They'll put it back into your total money and reinvest it for you. But distributing, they'll pay you that €1 and you can withdraw it if you want. I prefer accumulating because in Germany, there are taxes. If you're withdrawing the dividends regularly, then you might have to pay taxes. But if you put it back and it's all reinvested, it just keeps growing for you. So I just prefer that. That's just my preference. You can, of course, do distributing ETFs. And then I would recommend setting it up automatically. I don't remember last time I opened my stock app because I'm not a trader. I'm not going back to buy and sell. I just put the money in, set it, I just buy it automatically. And then every month or every week, I do my own every week. It just takes the money and invests for me. So I don't go, if you go in regularly, you can see it as red and just start panicking. So I don't just bother. I just put everything to be automated, and then I don't even look at it. Except I want to change something. Then you can do more research on justetf.com. I have all this also in my investment guide, so you can still dive deeper if you would like to. Then what about taxes? Yeah, I said before that you have €1,000 free, not free, €1,000 tax free. So you don't tax the first €1,000. But After that, the next any amount you make in profit, so any amount you make in gain after that is taxed, and it can be from 26 to 28%, depending on if you're paying church tax, if you're paying I think so solidarity surcharge or something. So it just depends on your tax structure, which is already set up. You don't need to do anything about that. And if you're using a German broker, that's fine. You don't have to think about it. You just need to make sure you set this in the app. But if you're not using a German broker, you might need to declare your taxes when you are doing tax return, and the German government might have to take it. So it gets a bit more complicated. Then I talked about tax-free ETCs. We are really above time now, so I will just leave this here because if you watch this video, you would know what I mean by tax-free ETCs. I'll briefly touch it. So tax-free ETCs are just when you buy gold. Normally, if you buy physical gold, you have it. It's your property. In the same way, if you buy an ETC that mirrors physical gold, because that physical gold exists somewhere, even though it's not in your house, it exists somewhere. The German government treats it as your own property as well, and they won't tax you. So they won't tax you if you've held this tax-free ETC for at least 1 year. Then when you sell it, you don't pay this 26, 28% tax. So that's also a good thing. So there are different gold ETCs, but me, when I'm buying gold, I buy the one that is tax-free because, yeah, I don't pay tax if I sell it. So yeah. Then key takeaways. Think long term. I hope I didn't confuse you because in the beginning I said it's not complicated, and then I was talking. So hope I didn't confuse you. But in summary, just think long term. If you can't do it for at least 5 years, then I would advise against it. So just make sure it's something you can, put away. It's better you do a very small amount and don't think about it than do a big amount and think you want to get money next year. Diversify your portfolio. Don't start stock picking. Automate your investments. Don't go into it every day because it can break your heart. Don't panic when the market drops. Stay consistent and keep learning. So we will do questions now. Maybe I would stop sharing my screen and see I can see you. Where is that?
Wow,
Did I
wow,
stop?
wow, wow.
Yes, I stopped sharing my screen.
Thank you so much. Straight to the point. And you touched on some major things. Thank you so much. I think I find it interesting that, after doing all that investment, then I think for me, what irritates me or upsets me is the tax part, that you have to still pay tax on investment. So sometimes you see that this money, you'll be happy, and then when the tax comes, boom, it just slashes. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
this?
And it's Germany because
unhealthy.
in the UK they have 20,000. They have 20,000 euros
Free.
pounds free. So in Germany, it annoys me too. It annoys me too. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for taking time. I know, you're a
Mhm.
busy woman, you're a mom of 2 kids, and you still had time to, create this slide for us. So thank you so much. We have a number of questions here from from the slides. Number one, I think I would like you to address. Somebody says, "Look, I have been away from work for a while. Um, what job opportunities for stay-at-home moms or mom who have stayed at home for a while and want to get back into work?" Closely
Mhm.
related to that is how do I transition back to work to career after a long time of being a stay-at-home mom with no
Mhm.
income?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. How to integrate into the German workforce? Is B1 really enough? So that those questions are
Mm.
together about going back
Okay.
into the workforce. That's work and motherhood. The next question is the next top question is side income and
Mm.
freelancing. So I'd
Mhm.
like you to touch on those. Are there side income? Are there side hustles? We Nigerians now, or
Mm.
Africans, not even Nigeria, Africans generally. I know of a woman who is from, I think, Uganda or Kenya or so. She already has a restaurant in her country,
Mm.
doing all sorts of things there. So we're naturally driven people who want to do one thing or the other. So what side income sources would you recommend in Germany?
Mm.
I think we should start with
Okay.
those two major questions.
Okay. I'll start with the one of transitioning back into work. So the thing is, I said before, the German employers, they are usually more considerate than, would I say, the rest of the world. However, you need to think about the fact that they are also hiring, like when there's a job opportunity, they are looking at both the people that have always been in the in the job force and you who hasn't been in the workforce for a while. So that's where the extra mile thing really needs to come into play. Before you apply for a job, depending on the field you need to apply, you are trying to apply, and if it's a field that you've done before or that you studied in school, then you really, whether you've done it before or not, actually, you need to go and upskill. So because in that time where you've stayed away from the job market, things have changed. Marketing is changing every day. The tech skills are changing every day. Things have changed. So you need to go, first of all, take some months or some weeks or some, depending on how much time you have, and go and learn the gap, bridge the gap by yourself, because that company is not going to bridge the gap for you. Like there are people who are up to date. So you have to make sure that you are up to date and you are really even further than someone who has done the job, because I know your experience matters and experience counts, but knowledge still counts. And if you can prove that even while you were away, you were able to upskill and stay in touch with things that were going on, then of course then you stand a big chance. Also, if you stop, maybe you were like in a, when I say senior role, or you were in a junior role, and after this amount of years you are supposed to be in a senior role, you can consider going back to where you stopped. Sometimes you can be like, okay, after 3 years, I'm supposed to be here. I know it can be frustrating. That's the sacrifice you make as moms. But you know that there are also people who have, for those 3 years where you've been caring for your kids, they've been upskilling, they've been working, and they are also applying for that new role. So I would recommend just taking time. You can still negotiate a nicer salary in a junior role. That happens. But I would recommend going back to that, not making it harder for them to hire you. So I recommend that. But most important thing is make sure you upskill, make sure you pick up the skills that you might have missed along the way, and then go the extra mile during the interview and all that. Then the other question was about Germany, side hustles in Germany.
Yes.
There are two things to keep in mind. One, if you're working full time, or if you're working at all, if you have an employer, you need permission from, most of the time, different depending on your contract, but you need permission from your employer before you do your side hustle. I like to do things by the book. So I'll say make sure you do that. Make sure you get permission from your employer. Then the side hustles you can do. It really depends on how much time you have and what kind of what would be easier for you to do. So, for instance, people are doing UGC a lot these days. UGC is just that, let's say as a mom, let's say you get a baby carrier, for instance, you use baby carrier, use a stroller. You make videos about the stroller, build a portfolio. It's easier for moms if you are doing something mom related, but you can do anything. Just look for things you already have, products you already use, make videos about it, make sure the videos are nice, edit them, learn how to edit. You can use YouTube to learn how to edit them, create a portfolio. Then if you go online and just look for UGC, sometimes they want people that speak German though, but you can look for the ones that don't. Then pitch your portfolio to them. Then they pay you to make similar videos for their own product. Like they'll send you the product, you make the video, then you send it to them. You don't even need to have followers on Instagram. It's not necessary. If it's nice if you do, but you don't have to. Then they pay you to make the videos for them and send it to them. It's not as easy as it sounds, because there are many people doing it. So you have to pitch, your videos have to be good, but it's an option, it's a low entry option that you can think about. Then I think that's the biggest one I would say that you can really do from the comfort of your home in Germany. Then I saw one question about this tax. Can one
Yes.
invest in the UK? No. Because you have your tax ID in Germany. So no matter what, even if you go and
To
invest in
get
the
the
UK,
20,000 tax free.
yeah, no, no, you have your tax ID in Germany. So even if you invest in the UK, you can of course invest in any market. You can use a British app, but if that money is connected to your German bank account, which it should be, except if you want to cut corners, you really have to pay the taxes in Germany, because that's where you are a tax resident. Yeah. You can't even, I think if you even use a British, I have Trading 212, if you use a British app like Trading 212, you don't even have access to it. As long as you're in Germany, you don't have access to the account where it's tax free. You don't have that access to where it's tax free. So unfortunately, we cannot bypass that law.
I know. I think that's why a lot of people are moving to the UAE, where there's a lot of tax
Oh yeah,
free.
tax free. Yeah,
Unfortunately, all that is happening
yeah,
there is just really sad. But anyway,
yeah.
it's what it is. And I think the social system in Germany has its downsides and its
Mm.
upsides. That's why while we are being moms at home taking care of our children, there are some benefits that are available in a
Oh, I
capitalist
forgot to turn
system.
on this.
It's okay.
Sorry, I was just like Mike.
It's
What's
okay.
fine. Yeah.
In a capitalist system, no, there are no, you don't have all those benefits. So I mean, it's 50-50. I also just
Mm.
wanted to add to the person who has stayed at home for a long time. We
Mhm.
have a number of other women like that in our community who have also stayed at home for a while. In fact, there's one that is really, really been a source of encouragement to us. After having 3 kids, she moved to Germany. Now, according to, I mean, from last time we chatted, She's already on her B2. She went back to do a professional course, a PMP. She did it with a lot of fears, let me tell you. She was afraid. Sometimes you have this mom brain. Sometimes you just begin to doubt yourself that are you even able to even do anything? But she has taken a number of exams and she has passed them all. So I know the
Wow.
fear is there. I know you can feel like, are you sure? Can I? The first time I wrote an exam after I had my child and I passed, I was like, oh, really? You mean I can do this thing? So that mom brain is there and it's real, right? Your brain is calculating food, water, clothes, this one. God help you if you now have 3 4 kids or even more than one child. It's just so complicated. Then if you are now a first child, or if you are somebody who a lot of people look back to you in Africa, it's even more complicated. But in the midst of all of these things, we can still find a way. Another personal strategy I would like to share is that sometimes, you have to take the bull by its horn. The job that I got, the person said, "Oh, we are understaffed." The person said, "Oh, there's an opportunity, there's no space, but we are understaffed." I said, "You're understaffed. Don't worry, I can work." It depends on your level. It's not desperation, but sometimes you just have to do what you have to do to get into that system. All you need is a foot in the door, to prove that I can do this thing. They said, yeah, the person said, "Oh, we are understaffed, so we can't even do this. We can't do this for you." I said, "What? Don't worry. I am well able to work. I can just give me," I told the person, "Give me 1 month and see, because what you're asking that you want, what you need, I have done it. I've been doing it for the past how many years. I don't have a certification in it, but I've done it with this person, done it with that person. Of course, rewired my CV and I sent it and I got the job, right? And the job came at just the exact time that I needed it. So please, mamas, if there's anybody you are feeling like, oh, the German system is overwhelming and it's everything, repackage your CV, upskill. That prompts, we are going to send the CV, we are going to send information to the group. Thank God for AI. Let's use it to our advantage. The reality is YouTube has also become a university. YouTube has also become a university. So please, let's just maximize all the resources available. Thank you so much, Kachi. Let's say Kachi. Dikachi.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
For that answer, that response. Another question is, okay, how to navigate. The next question is about side income again, freelancing. How to navigate, how do I navigate into a career that can be done? How do I navigate into a career that can be done as a freelancer? Then, I'm not sure I get that question, but I don't know if you understand it. How do I navigate into a career that can be done as a freelancer? So maybe the job is something that you can actually do as a freelancer. So instead of you doing it as a full-time job, the person wants to do it as a freelancer. Then another question. Interesting. Okay, how to become a money-making mom? Are there other things that we can do? Maybe because you can't work right now, maybe because you have a baby, because you have a child. I know you talked about the UGC, something, yeah. Are there other things? Then investment. Let's quickly, I think we've talked about more money. Let's go to investment. How do I invest for my child? What are the resources I can use or platforms or app I can invest for my child? What's the best way to save for my child? Um,
Okay.
how to
I'll just answer those because
Okay,
I really need
okay,
to go. Like
yeah,
I need to
yeah, yeah,
breastfeed, I need to bath my
yeah.
baby, and it's really there times I really need to go.
Okay.
So I'll just answer those. Maybe I'll just start with the investment. Investing for your kids. When invest for your kids just works the way you invest for yourself. It's just that you can choose if you want to invest in your own account or if you want to invest in a child's account. The benefits with investing in a child's account is this tax thing, because if you invest in your own account, then you have that 1,000 euros cap. And that's for both of you. But if you invest in a separate account for your child, then your child also gets that 1,000. You also have 1,000, so it's now 2,000. So I recommend doing that if you can. I use Trade Republic. There are other tools that can do that. But I use Trade Republic because it's, yeah, for me, it's just easier. And in Trade Republic, there are certain ETFs. Once you open an account for your child, there are certain ETFs that pay back because ETFs have a management fee. It's really tiny money, but it's still something. So for kids, until if your child is less than 18, you get that management fee back. And these ETFs, they are broad, like the ones I mentioned. They cover the whole market. So I just do those ETFs. I don't bother with any other ETFs because they cover the whole market. And so the easiest way I would say is to find a German broker like Trade Republic. If you read my guide, I wrote about that but I didn't specify for kids, but it's literally the same process. And then you automate it, and then you put the money in there every month so they get it. So that's the yeah. I also have a video about that. I think I'll link it. I didn't link it in this slide, but I think I'll link it. Then you can also check out that video. I made a video on Instagram about that.
Okay. How to save Kindergeld? Is
You
that
save it in yeah, I would say that so it's up to you if you just want to save it, like you don't want to invest it, you just put it in a separate account. But if you want to invest it, I would do what I just said, like get these ETFs that pay back the management fee, create a separate account. These apps are they're in English and they're very clear, like step one, step two. So put it monthly. If you want to put the whole thing, any amount you want to put, just make sure you transfer it monthly into that child's account. It will have the child's name and everything, and then it just automates to go in there every month. And by the time your child is 18, you'll be surprised how much is theirs.
do we pay
Yeah.
tax on the investment
I
stuff?
mean, you only pay tax when you sell. So if you are investing regularly until the child's 18, when the child wants to withdraw, then you have to pay tax, which would be a lot. But I think there are some companies that offer some tax benefits. I haven't read into that because one thing I've noticed is when I hear tax benefits in Germany, it always comes at a cost. Like there's always something. So so make sure
Really?
you do a lot of research and make sure that the cost of that tax benefit is still makes sense for you. Yeah.
Okay. I know that you have to go.
Yeah.
Is there any
Yeah.
other question before? I hope I've been able to address all the other questions. Has our Instagram page, we're going to put it down there now. Our Instagram page is she has a lot of videos there. You can also book her for one-on-one sessions, of course.
I've not set that up yet, but I will set it up.
Because
Because I've been so busy,
if you
but I
come
will set
from
it up
us,
next
there's
week.
a discount code. I will share it with those of us that have registered. If you come from us, there's a discount code that you can get, but I'm sure that you'll be able to get value and you'll be able to go into more details, with that. And if you also want to invite her to maybe your church, she's open to speaking engagement is also part of women supporting women. Thank you so much, Ikachi. I know that you have to rush now.
So
Thank you so much
yeah.
for taking time out of your busy schedule to share with us. We hope to get the Comings with Good Tax benefit has high maintenance cost. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Okay. It was
sharing.
so nice to be here. I really enjoyed my evening with you, and I hope now you have some more clarity about your career and your finances, and you're living better than the last hour when you came in. That would be the best thing, best result of this.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
All
thank
right.
you,
Have a
thank
nice
you.
evening.
Yeah, bye. For those of us that are
Bye.
still here, before we all go, um, so happy International Women's Day ahead again. It's Sunday, but I just want to encourage you, that we're going to flourish in this country. And sometimes, like I said, it's just one information that you need. Like you talked about this UGC thing, you can go and research more on it. I know also that there's so many laws. For instance, if you are fully employed, you can doing a side hustle is complicated. So many complicated things. But like you said, when there's a will, there is a way, right? And I know that for those of us that are Christians, as we continue to pray, God will continue to also open the door for us. And even if you're not a Christian, whether you're Muslim or Christian, as long as you continue to pray and continue to put your hope in God, God always has a way of opening doors. Yes, our Instagram handle. Let me get that out for you. We're also going to send it via email. If you register via email, we're going to send it to you via email. I know that we have a number of stay-at-home moms, and I just want to encourage us. Don't be discouraged. It's possible to upskill and get back in. It may take some time. It may take a different role. Sometimes you have to apply for a completely different role. You have to change course, change the directory of what you were doing maybe before you came into this country. For instance, I wanted to continue to do my HR, hire fire, that kind of thing. That's what I wanted to continue to do. But by the time I came into Germany, I realized that there are other sectors, there are other areas. So sometimes we need to unlearn. Change is difficult. It's not easy, right? But these are some of the sacrifices that we make for our future and for our children as well. Sometimes we need to do things, change into sectors that ordinarily you probably will not even be there. But as you change, you grow. Change allows you to grow. When you come out of your comfort zone, you grow. And with the time that you have, thank God for YouTube. Thank God for all these platforms. There's so many platforms. We're going to share some of them also on our WhatsApp group and via email. And you can take courses. Just improve yourself till you get that big break that you're looking for. And one of the visions, that instructions that I personally received this year is, what is in your hands? As a Christian, that was a question that the Lord asked me this year. What is in your hands? While we're looking for that job, for those of us that are stay-at-home moms, while we're looking for that big break, the question is, what is in your hands? For me, that's why I started my Instagram page. I started reviewing books. People started sending me resources, books. I started reviewing it. That's how it started. I started shipping books even to Nigeria. I have a mini store there where people still get resources and they buy, and of course it's in Naira. It may not be big money, but it's something. So what is in your hands? Some of us can cook, some of us can bake, some of us can, while we're waiting for that big break, that was the question. Every time God wanted to bless somebody, he will always ask. And I believe that's a word also that God wants somebody to hear today. As I prepared for this meeting, this is one of the major things that I heard in my spirit. What is in your hands? What do you have in your hands? Right? Yes, Germany is challenging. Yes, Germany is complicated. Yes, getting an English speaking job is is challenging. I know. But what is in your hands? Right? What is in your hands while you are waiting for that big break? Can you bake? You only need 5 people. And if you're good at what you do, those 5 people will go out and spread it to another set of 5 people. Do you know how to make hair? Do you know how to bake? Do you know how to cook? There are some of us like this that will pay for that cooking, maybe because of certain peculiarities of our lives in this season. There are people that would, because of their busy, they're probably maybe doing shift jobs. They will pay that just cook all the soups, you can do Nigerian soup so well. They will pay for it. What is it that you can do? Do you love kids? We're always looking for volunteers who can help us with our community, for our children. There are people that, and as long as you're not stealing the money, don't let anybody shame you, don't let anybody deceive you. As long as you're not stealing the money, as long as you're not stealing the money, it's decent, there's dignity in labor. As long as you're not stealing the money, as long as it's a decent job, please don't listen to what the world says. At the end of the day, the world will continue to talk. Just stay focused on your goals and stay focused on your dreams. What is in your hands? The widow of Zarephath, the widow that Elijah wanted to bless, when she got there, she said, what is in your hands? That little. I was listening to a message by someone, and he said, that little in your hands, what is in your hands? I can multiply it. I can bless it. Some of us know how to cook. Your own specialty might just be jollof rice. Your own specialty might just be jollof rice. We already have a mom who makes delicious small chops already. We're encouraging her to look into it. We have a mom here who makes hair. I don't know if she's here. People have already gone to her to make hair, and she made it so well. And when I saw it, I was like, I'll go and make hair from her. Do you understand? This is the real women supporting women. We have put on the WhatsApp group. We have shared all these links. Please, let's support each other, And if you see the person is not yet doing it, at an excellent level, encourage the person. Oh, I think you can do it this way so you can get better. For those of us that your focus is career that you want, I want to assure you that the job that you desire is out there. Like I said, you need to maybe upskill, change direction completely to a completely different industry. Give yourself the next 3 months, the next 6 months, and see how you just become a completely different person. If you are looking for a job, this is the time to go and check your LinkedIn profile. Go and get a professional picture. Your Instagram handle as well. Use whatever means. Share the knowledge you're learning. Share it. Share something that you have learned related to that industry. You really never can tell. And also come for our event hangouts. We have big madams here who may just be able to guide you, help you review CVs. We know of people who are helping, they're helping each other review CVs in this community and say, look, help me check my CV. What do you think? I'm looking for a job. You just really never can tell. On this note, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has. I hope this has been helpful. However, short or brief it might have been, I hope this has been helpful to you in one way or the other. I hope it has reminded you that there's hope, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and we're going to flourish here in this country. We are going to flourish in this country. We're going to start small, but we're going to grow. That job, we're going to get it. That place that we desire, it is possible. I don't want you to accept the lies that it is impossible. No, it is possible. We're a new generation of women changing the narrative, right? We're going to get those jobs. We're going to start those businesses. In Frankfurt, I don't know of anybody who has set up a food business like we have in Berlin. And we have women here who are capable. If everybody rallies around you, we can do it. We have somebody who can register your business in this community. We have somebody who can do consulting for you. It's possible. It's possible. Why is it Berlin? Everybody's in Berlin. What about here? Right? What about here? Okay? The education sector in Germany needs people. Oh my God. That black woman, that black child needs, that child that they're complaining about is active, just needs to see another black woman, and the child will just become a completely different person. I have experienced it. So the opportunities are bound, and I know that God will help us. I don't know if this has been helpful in any way. We're going to wrap up now. If there's any other question, does anybody have any other question? So that we can wrap up. No other question. How can we join the WhatsApp group? Thank you so much. Oh, my admin. No, my admin is not here. Is she here? Media projects, are you here? Admin. They've abandoned me. Okay. Problem is, you know what? Let me just. I'm on the other, because I'm using my laptop. I can't see the links myself, so I have to. Technology, God will help us. I'm forwarding it to the group now. Just give me a minute, please. We are also on Instagram. Just a minute. I'm going to send it now. German number. Okay. So let me send it now to you. Just a minute, please. And there you go. Okay, yeah. This is the form. Yeah, thank you so much for attending. The Instagram handle, that's the form to join the community. Like I said, we always like to know who is who. That's why we're always asking to get to know you first, so that we can then bring you into the community as well. We have events also. Our next event is going to be next week Saturday, and we hope that you'll be able to join us. We hope you'll be able to join us. Let me share the Instagram handle. No, just a minute. There'll be many more events with many more impactful speakers. These are first, so it will always get better. It will always get better. There you go. Good. Okay. So that's our Instagram handle. Thank you so much for. Thank you. Be encouraged. Anybody down, anybody, sad about life in Germany, about all the challenges, be encouraged. Better days ahead. God is for us, and we are going to flourish in this country. So thank you all so much for joining. It's 7:30. I know you've had a long week. I would love to release you so you can have time with your friends and with your family. We'll continue the conversation on the WhatsApp group, and when we see each other next week Saturday, hopefully everybody comes. WWP Qatar. It'd be nice to know you. Are you joining us from Qatar? Are you actually joining us from Qatar? I hope you're safe. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're safe over there. Okay, it's not from Berlin. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, mamas. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like I said, to get better, these are first. So, part of the just shines brighter and brighter. Thank you so much. God bless you. Bye. See you next week Saturday for those of us that are in Frankfurt. Bye.
Bye, Auntie Mo.
Bye, Mama.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Mama. God bless you. Bye.